competition. Two top 10 offenses going head-to-head. Anadolu Efes Istanbul, a top 10 defense, conceding just 78.8 points per game. Bayern Munich sees their defensive breach to the tune of 81.3 points per game, which puts them at 13th in the defensive rankings. So it's the third meeting between Efes and Bayern in the EuroLeague. Here's the head-to-head coaching record between Coach Adgin Ataman and Dejan Radonic, tied at 4-4. 8 meetings as chief sideline strategist to this point. So the starting five then for the visitors: Petteri Koppinen, Maodo Low, Vladimir Lucic, Danilo Bartel, and Greg Monroe. 2 guards, 2 forwards, and a center. Starting five for the visitors, and that is counted by Shane Larkin, Vasilija Micic, Chris Singleton, James Anderson, and Tibor Pleiss. So terrific matchups all over the floor. Vasilija Micic preparing to face off against one of his former clubs, and not only did he suit up for Bayern between that year-and-a-half stint in 2014-2015, he also played under the Bayern head coach Dejan Radonic in the 15-16 season at Crvena Zvezda MTS Belgrade. Damir Jabor, the crew chief, the wise man taking charge of tonight's game. So the pre-game ceremony is almost complete as we approach the opening tip-off here at the Sinan Erdem Dome in this round 11 fixture in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. Anadolu Efes Istanbul, joint top of the standings, along with Barcelona facing off against FC Bayern Munich. 12th in the standings with an identical record to Olympiacos and Valencia coming into round 11. There we see that pound exchange between the former player and coach, and the player who competed or played for his former coach at Crvena Zvezda MTS Belgrade, both now with new outfits, both with new missions. The objective remains the same: to progress as deep as possible into the postseason. So the opening tip is up. Both men coming back down to earth before getting control of the tip, which is ultimately in favor of Efes. It's Micic, picked up by Lucic. Larkin running Maodo Low off screens. Tibor Pleiss setting another one. Oh, Shane Larkin. Instant offense on the opening trip down the floor. Anadolu Efes Istanbul with a triple to put the first points on the board. Then Larkin with a steal, but his blazing speed meant that he couldn't keep himself in bounds. Shane Larkin out of the gate quickly tonight. Terrific anticipation. Couldn't control the speed. So Koppinen handling all the way down beneath the bucket, comes out the other side of the lane. He's picked up his dribble. He's looking for Monroe in the low post. He's going head-to-head with Tibor Pleiss. Goes for the turnaround. Tibor Pleiss with a defensive board. Terrific defensive sequence on the first trip down the floor by the home team. Bayern pounding it inside early to Greg Monroe, their leading scorer. Tibor Pleiss fakes the three, gets Monroe off his feet, now comes to set a screen on Low. Low slides under it. Tibor Pleiss, high post from the free throw line, nothing but net. Anadolu Efes Istanbul, 2 trips down the floor and 2 buckets, giving them a 5-point lead as Bayern look for their first score of the game. Monroe inside to Danilo Bartel. That's a terrific offense. Chris Singleton electing to front Danilo Bartel, but in doing so, there was no defensive reinforcement behind him. Perfectly placed pass. by Greg Monroe, who's second on his team in terms of assists, despite leading in so many other categories as well. And then Danilo Bartel, having scored Bayern's opening field goal, called for the foul. So Larkin calling for Pleiss to set screens. He pulls up and rattles home another three-pointer. Shane Larkin has come out gangbusters to begin this game. 2 3-point field goals out of 2 to put his team up by 6, their largest lead of the game. Monroe working against Pleiss once more, turns on the baseline, strong move up off the glass, but it was too strong. He couldn't find the finish. Tibor Pleiss with another defensive board. Larkin inside to Pleiss, runs and rams it home with a one-handed jam. Tibor Pleiss and Shane Larkin hooking up to continually torment FC Bayern Munich, who are being outscored by 8, prompting Dejan Radonic to call timeout and talk this one over. 10-2 the score. It is all FS in the opening stages of this game. Well, what a matchup in store at the Palau Blaugrana as FC Barcelona face off against CSKA Moscow. But our focus is on the action here at the Sinan Erdem Dome. Anadolu Efes Istanbul with a terrific start to this game. A perfect 4 of 4 from the field, including 2 out of 2 from downtown. Shane Larkin not hesitating to pull the trigger and then hooking up Tibor Pleiss both from the high post and down on the cut towards the bucket. So has this timeout done anything to stem the momentum that FS established in the opening skirmishes of this game? Koppinen has used his dribble. He offloads to Nelson. Nelson has it poked away by Vasilija Micic. So it will be end-line possession for the visitors with 4.2 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Bayern are going to have to communicate that to one another. The bench plays a role in this regard as well. Inside it goes to Danilo Bartel, bundled out of bounds. Last touch by Danilo Bartel. So Anadolu Efes Istanbul continuing with this swarming defensive effort, which is making life very difficult indeed for the visiting team. But the officials immediately overruling the call that was made. Good to see that human reaction as Lucic pinned beneath the bucket and he stepped on the baseline. So despite the call being overturned to go in favor of the visiting team, still Anadolu Efes Istanbul continuing with a high intensity D, causing Vladimir Lucic to bisect the baseline with his sneaker. Just over 2.5 minutes gone in the first quarter. Shane Larkin into the lane, hangs it up for Tibor Pleiss, but the alley-oop attempt was broken up. FS committing their first turnover of the game. Lucic, the league's most accurate 2-point shooter, drives the lane, fouled in the act of shooting. Chris Singleton saying that the foul was committed while Lucic was on the ground. But it will be a trip to the free throw line for Vladimir Lucic. Lucic coming off a 7-point performance in round number 10. That home defeat against Panathinaikos. You see his numbers on the season. He duly makes the first. 81% foul shooter for his career is Vladimir Lucic. So a perfect trip to the free throw line for Vladimir Lucic sees him put a pair of points on the board and make this a 2-possession game. Anadolu Efes Istanbul leading by 6. Monroe helping out on the perimeter. Oh, wraparound pass inside and the finish fashioned by Tibor Pleiss. What a feed from Vasilija Micic. Absolutely terrific feed out of the left hand from Micic to find Tibor Pleiss beneath the bucket and put his team up by 8. So DeMarcus Nelson answering with the three-pointer. Reduces the arrears to 5. As Micic fires a 3. Rim shot, Tibor Pleiss on the offensive glass, and Tibor Pleiss continues to run amok on the interior. 8 points in the game already on perfect shooting from two-point territory. Bayern Munich being doubled up. Lucic with the mid-range J, nothing but net. And that gives you an idea as to why he's the most accurate two-point gunner in the EuroLeague. Picks his spots terrifically. Unerring accuracy on that mid-range J. Singleton for 3, and the threes continuing to flow freely here at the Sinan Erdem Dome. Anadolu Efes Istanbul are rolling. Modo Low sidelined on the bench after starting the game. He may have a slight injury concern. We'll keep you updated with any reports just as soon as we can. So 8 points the advantage as Danilo Bartel short on the jump hook attempt. Chris Singleton the last person to touch that. It will remain Bayern Munich ball. So Koppinen dumps it down low. Bartel with a tough catch. He had to come down behind the backboard with it. He finds DeMarcus Nelson, who drives, stops in the lane, hangs, fires. 5 points in the game on perfect shooting for DeMarcus Nelson. So it's a 2-possession game. Singleton looking for his second three-pointer of the night, and he finds it. Chris Singleton continuing to do a terrific job of spreading the floor. And Anadolu Efes Istanbul, 80% from downtown, 4 of 5 in the opening half of this first quarter. 9 points the advantage, the largest lead of the game for the home team. And FC Bayern Munich, while they haven't been able to silence the crowd yet, DeMarcus Nelson really aggressive to begin this one after checking into the game off the bench. He remains perfect from the field. 7 points in the game as Modo Low continues to work on that mobility. Lower leg appears to have tightened up on him. DeMarcus Nelson pockets the steal. Koppinen pulls up for 3, off right with the shot. Last touch by Greg Monroe, and it will be Anadolu Efes Istanbul ball. So Vladimir Lucic taking a seat on the bench. Paul Zipser checking into the game. So too Alex King on the floor for the first time tonight as Micic brings it up against Zipser. Remember, these two teammates during that season and a half Vladimir Micic spent at Bayern Munich. Well, Alex King committing the foul against his national team teammate, Tibor Pleiss. You'll know all about his tendencies and knows that if you let him get any deeper than that on the block, when you're Alex King, given the disparity in size, you may as well start jogging back the other way. Terrific offensive rebound by James Anderson. He goes straight back up with the left hand and gets it to go. James Anderson makes it a 9-point lead once again, equaling the largest advantage that Efes had in this game to this point. Look at the contact between Tibor Pleiss and Greg Monroe. Baseline is open. Monroe is spun in that direction, but fouled while on the ground, so it will not be a trip to the free throw line for Greg Monroe. Tibor Pleiss called for the foul. That's his first. Short corner J from Paul Zipser, who goes via the window and finds the bottom of the net. Fouled in the act of shooting, so he'll go to the free throw line looking to complete the 3-point play. Catching as a shooter, James Anderson hitting him on the forearm, but the foul not forceful enough to take away the basket. Terrific finish by Paul Zipser. So Greg Monroe, Terry Koppinen taking a seat on the bench, Diego Flacadori and Mateus Lasor into the game. Paul Zipser completes the three-point play to bring his team back to within 6. It's a two-possession affair here. Just over 3 minutes to go in the quarter. Mitsic spins baseline. Diego Flacadori again taking advantage of what the defense presented him. Flacadori called for his first foul. Mitsic defended by Nelson. Now it's with Larkin. Flacadori defending him. Larkin pulls up for 3. Short on the shot. Rebound Nelson. Head up looking for options. Alex King running the floor hard. Now it goes down to him. Short corner J is faked. Anderson back into defensive position. Turning into a double team. Kicks it to the open Diego Flacadori. Back iron on the shot. Terrific defense by Anadolu Efes Istanbul. Nice pass out of the double team by Alex King. Shane Larkin loses the dribble, but manages to recover it. Finds Tibor Pleiss, rotation around the perimeter. Mitsic working a jab step, blowing by Mateus Lasor, gets 2 defenders in the air in concert. Now, what's the call here? Oh, we've got a 3-second violation. Tibor Pleiss must be terribly disappointed because the ball was pinging around the perimeter at a rapid rate, pulling the Bayern Munich defense all over the court. But that will go down as a turnover, handing possession to FC Bayern Munich. Vasilija Mitsic takes a seat on the bench. Rodri Boubois checking into the game for FS. Zipser in the high post, gets to the dots, goes for a step through short J. Chris Singleton with the rebound. His first board of the night as Larkin pulls up for 3 in the face of Mateus Lasor and drops the bucket right into the defender's eye. Shane Larkin, 3 of 4 from downtown. What a red-hot start he has made to this game. 9 points the advantage once again. Alex King for 3, Chris Singleton flying at him to disrupt the shot. Terrific offensive board by Lasor. Flacadori drives, offload inside, DeMarcus Nelson with the reverse. Fantastic ball movement on the interior by Bayern Munich. So Boubois catches as a shooter, gets defenders in the air with the pump fake, down to the corner, Larkin for 3, and he is unconscious in the first quarter of this game here at the Sinan Erdem Dome. Shane Larkin, 4 out of 5 from downtown. All 12 of his points have come from 3-point territory. Anadolu Efes Istanbul, an improbable 6 of 9 from 3-point range. Flacadori using the screen set by Lasor, kicks it back to the perimeter, inside to Lasor, who finishes strong at the glass. Did he get it away? Well, apparently he did. Patient half-court offense by FC Bayern Munich, trailing by 8 after being subjected to a momentary double-digit deficit. But Shane Larkin is proving to be lethal from all over the court tonight. Long range, mid-range. He has only missed 1 shot and he's got 14 points in the first quarter alone. Beautiful hesitation dribble with the head fake by Diego Flacadori. He slices to the bucket to bring his team back to within 8. They were down. Larkin kicks it to Pleiss. He's going to beat the buzzer. He gets a hook away, but didn't beat the horn to end the first quarter. And what a first quarter. There's the head fake from Diego Flacadori on his final field goal of that first quarter. But it's the first quarter where Anadolu Efes Istanbul have put 30 points on the board to lead FC Bayern Munich by 8. So the highlights then. Anadolu Efes Istanbul, perfect from two-point territory on 6 attempts, 67% from downtown on 9 attempts. Absolutely incredible shooting. They've got the edge on the boards, but really it's those shooting percentages that are the story, because that is an incredible clip at which Anadolu Efes Istanbul are converting their field goal attempts. And if they continue at this type of rate, one suspects it's going to be a very long night for FC Bayern Munich. So a look at some of the highlights then from the first quarter. Shane Larkin got the ball rolling immediately, hitting the first bucket of the game. DeMarcus Nelson checked in for the hobbled Maudo Low. DeMarcus Nelson with 9 points in the game on perfect shooting from the field, including 3 of 3 from two-point territory. But Shane Larkin is hitting from everywhere. The Bayern Munich defenders electing to leave him on that occasion. That's proven to be erroneous, because it just left him with a mid-range J that he buried. This is the final score of the first quarter. Diego Flacchiadori with a nice head fake that enabled him to get to the glass. So it's Bayern Munich who get the second quarter underway. Good to see that Modo Low has been able to rejoin the game. So he's got some K-tape on his right calf. Zipser has his shot swatted away by Sertak Shanley. Terrific defensive play from the big who has just checked into the game to begin this second quarter. Boubois into the lane, hangs in the air, backhand on the shot, gets his own offensive rebound and goes to a playground move to finish with the left hand beneath the bucket. What a play from Rodrigue Boubois. It's as though he's playing a game of horse. Only 2 points on the board, but the degree of difficulty on that finish, well, he'll tell you that he deserves more than the 2 that have gone on the box score. Fantastic finish by Rodrigue Boubois for his first points of the game. Paul Zipser drawing the foul against Brunislav Simone down beneath the basket. So the advantage is 10 for the home team. Zipser finds Flacchiadori. Flacchiadori drives, gets to the lane once again, wrapped up by Rodrigue Boubois, but illegally so. Rodrigue Boubois acknowledging immediately it is he who committed the foul. His first. So Zipser has used his dribble. He needs a receiver here. Gets it to Lesor. He's dragging Sertak Shanley away from the bucket. And that opens it up for Modo Low, who drives, kicks to Alex King, but it's too late. Must recognize the context of time score. Sometimes difficult to communicate in an atmosphere as boisterous as this one, but by the time the ball made its way to Alex King and he pulled the trigger, the shot clock had already sounded, resulting in a 24-second violation. But how about that for an offensive rebound and stick back by Rodrigue Boubois. Diego Flacchiadori taking a seat on the bench, so too Alex King. Vladimir Lucic checking back into the game along with Danilo Bartel. So it's Micic working against Low, who you see is moving a little bit gingerly as he goes backwards. I'm sure Vasilij Micic will have made a mental note of that. Sertak Shanley fires from the high post and connects from downtown to make it a 12-point advantage. Sertak Shanley, another one of the players who is coming up big in the absence of Bryant Dunstan. He and Tibor Pleiss combining terrifically on the interior. Lesor misses the jump hook. Offensive rebound wrapped up by Alec Peters, who's checking into the game for the first time in this second quarter. Alec Peters down in the post now. Micic keeping his dribble alive. Simone working against Lesor. Fakes the step back, gives it to Peters. Extra pass to Micic. Shot clock now down to 6. Brunislav Simone knifing into the lane. Back iron on the one-handed shot attempt. Rebound Lesor. So Zipser dumps it down low. Shanley comes across to help out Rodrigue Boubois. He goes inside to Lesor once again. Turning, wheeling, getting the right-handed hook away, but for the second trip down the floor. The right-handed hook attempt is short. FC Bayern Munich with 2 minutes 20 gone in the second quarter as Shanley streaks down the lane off the fantastic feed from Micic. Paul Zipser committing the foul. That will send Sertac Shanley to the free throw line. So Sertac Shanley 10 of 12 from the free throw line so far this campaign. 82% foul shooter for his career. Greg Monroe checking back in. Saw taking a seat on the bench. So Shanley good on the first. He's 2 for 2 from the free throw line in his 6-point outing in round 10. So 1 of 2 from that trip to the free throw line. 13-point advantage for the home team, their largest lead of the game. Bayern Munich still looking for their first bucket of the second quarter. Greg Monroe not looking at the basket when he had the basketball. Now posting up against Sertac Shanley. Those two going one-on-one in the block. Micic helping out down low. Zipser for 3, and he buries it. Paul Zipser continuing his strong play after coming off that career high in round 10. Reduces the arrears to 10 now. First field goal of the second quarter. That's a traveling violation, is it? Or is it a foul? Greg Monroe is caught for the foul. Micic certainly came back down to earth with the ball, but that's why. Lots of contact applied by the FC Bayern Munich center. Monroe caught for his first. Micic from the Slav Simone handles at the second attempt. Crossover dribble being worked by Micic. He's turned the ball over. Modo Low coming up with the steal. He feeds Vladimir Lucic on the fast break. He was left all alone, and he buries the mid-range two-pointer. Vladimir Micic remaining perfect from the field. 6 points in the game. And surely that is not the man to leave alone. The FS defender electing to protect the paint, but instead, in doing so, it is another turnover committed by Micic. Back-to-back giveaways straight into the hands of Danilo Bartel. Modo Low for 3, and he tickles the twine. Modo Low, the 4th most accurate three-point shooter in the league at 55% from downtown for the campaign. Despite being slightly hobbled by an apparent calf injury, pulls up in transition to bring his team right back into this one. They have ran off 8 points without reply to trail by just 5 after being down by 13. Well, what a first quarter Shane Larkin produced here at Eastern and Erdem Dome. 14 points in the game on 4 of 5 shooting from three-point territory, and he hooked up Tibor Pleiss with a pair of delightful assists as well. Absolutely unstoppable over the course of the first 10 minutes. It was that type of game. Sure, Shane Larkin wishes that the quarter would never come to an end. He's currently on the bench. He's about to check back in, actually. Shane Larkin, after this timeout, was called by Ergin Ataman. So Anadolu Efes Istanbul looking to stem a run of 8 unanswered points that Bayern Munich have put on the board. On the previous 2 trips down the floor, Vasilija Micic coughed up the ball twice, which both resulted in points off turnovers as Shane Larkin pulls the trigger again and re-enters the zone that he was in during the course of the first quarter. A terrific display from Shane Larkin continues here in quarter number 2. 17 points in the game on 5 of 6 shooting from three-point land. Lucic working against Rodrigue Beaubois. Sertac Shanley hovering in the lane to help. But Vladimir Lucic remains perfect from two-point territory. 8 points in the game on 3 of 3 shooting from the field. Inside to Sertac Shanley, who went to dunk on Greg Monroe. Sertac Shanley wound up on his back. Greg Monroe has picked up his second foul in the process and isn't necessarily pleased by the call that has gone against him. There's lots of contact there. Greg Monroe, his thoughts on the call clear. He's called for foul number 2. Sertac Shanley will go to the free throw line. He's currently 1 for 2 from the stripe tonight. So Sertac Shanley, a perfect trip to the free throw line to put his team up by 8. They've led by as many as 13. Modo Low offloads to Paul Zitzer. Greg Monroe in the low post against Sertac Shanley. Those two big bodies banging down low, blocked by Sertac Shanley, taking away that shot attempt of Greg Monroe. Sertac Shanley with his first block of the game. Make that his second block, excuse me, after denying the shot attempt of the Bayern Munich center. So Paul Zitzer called for his second after stopping the drive of Rodrigue Beaubois illegally. He makes his way to the bench. We see the block of Sertac Shanley. Piece of the ball with the index finger. That's all it takes to deflect it. It doesn't have to be swatted into the 5th row. Beaubois with a behind-the-back pass to Sertac Shanley for the long-range 2, and he rattles it home. Sertac Shanley, burgeoning with confidence, moves to 7 points in the game on perfect shooting from two-point territory and restores the double-digit lead. Modo Low with the floater. Modo Low with 5 points in the game on perfect shooting from the field. It's an 8-point advantage for the home team. Simone. Ball rotates to Larkin, who fakes the 3, drives on Modo Low. And again, the FS point guards will test any mobility issues that may be apparent for Modo Low. Footwork usually one of his strengths. The FS ball handlers will scrutinize that tonight. And if Sertac Shanley can drag Greg Monroe away from the bucket by draining those type of long-range shots, well, it will give the FS players a lot more room to operate on the inside. So Shane Larkin, a perfect 2 for 2 from the free throw line. 27 consecutive free throws made for Shane Larkin now, as he moves to 19 points in the game. His team lead by 10 once again. So whistle on the play. It's actually a keenly contested second quarter. FS outscoring Bayern by just 2, 14 points to 12. The damage that was done in the first quarter still sees FS with a considerable advantage. Monroe from the high post, rim shot rebounded by Shane Larkin. He finds Krunoslav Simone on the left flank. Simone orchestrating the half-court set now. Shane Larkin taking up position on this right wing. He's all alone at the top of the perimeter, and he continues to be lethal from long range. And the game is easy tonight for Shane Larkin, because he is lighting up Anadolu Efes Istanbul's fans with a spectacular shooting display. FC Bayern Munich have been taught to the tune of 22 first half points for Shane Larkin. Skip to my Lou. 6 6 of 7 from three-point territory. Shane Larkin is proving to be a problem that FC Bayern Munich are struggling to solve. Their lead is 13, timeout on the floor.
Altında olursa hiçbir ücret ödemeyeceksiniz. Bir kez faydalanabileceğiniz bu indirim bir ay süreyle geçerli olacak. Bu indirimi kaçırmamanız için mobil uygulamamızdan çekimi yapmayı lütfen unutmayın ve takımımıza olan desteğinizi her dakika artırın. Kazanan taraftarlarımızın indirim kodları e-mail'e ulaştırılacak. Mobil uygulamamıza kayıtlı mail adreslerimizi güncellemenizi rica ederiz. Teşekkür ederiz.
So Modo Low looking to energize his team. Fought their way back to within 5 during an 8-0 run in this second quarter, but Shane Larkin re-entered the fray and has continued to put them to the sword once again. The lead is back up to 13, equaling the home side's largest edge in this game so far. Bartel gives it to Low. Coming off the baseline is Koppinen. The ball goes the other way to Vladimir Lucic. Inside to Danilo Bartel. Shot clock down to 5. He's working one-on-one against Sertac Shanley. Surrounded by FS defenders, but split the double team magnificently, bisecting Alec Peters and Sertac Shanley to finish via the window on the inside. Strong play by Danilo Bartel. Alec Peters called for the foul. That's his second. Bartel will go to the free throw line, looking to complete the three-point play. So Danilo Bartel completes the three-point play. He moves to 5 points in the game, reduces the arrears to 10. Inside to Shanley, rejected by Mateusz Lasort, but it's a goaltend. He caught the basketball after it came off the glass on his downward trajectory. Basket interference, and the basket will count for Sertac Shanley, who moves to 9 points in the game. 12 points the advantage for FS. Lucic in the low post against Krunoslav Simon. Sertac Shanley helping. Oh, he's being called for a push out of bounds as Krunoslav Simon. Let's take a look at it here. Lucic going for the baseline spin, and just that nudge with the abdomen. Oh, that's being called as a foul. Krunoslav Simon still continuing to argue his case, saying we're in the low post. There's bound to be some contact. The referees have made the call. Vladimir Lucic to the free throw line. Can't find the range on the first. So Vladimir Lucic goes 1 of 2 from the free throw line to move to 9 points in the game. His team trailing by 11, just under 3 minutes to play in the first half. Anadolu Efes Istanbul have never trailed in this game. Alec Peters for 3, front rim on the shot. Ball is loose, last touch by Bayern Munich. Sertac Shanley was in there fighting for the offensive board. The deflection came off Vladimir Lucic. Terrific effort by Shanley. Larkin looking for a receiver. He finds Rodrigue Boubois. Ball rotated to Sertac Shanley. He's waiting for a guard. Offloads to Larkin. Now he's rolling down the lane. Instead it goes to the corner. Rodrigue Boubois fakes the defender. Can't find the range on the shot. Terrific defensive rebound by Vladimir Lucic. Modo Low in transition. Flat pass to Danilo Bartel. Inside it goes to Mateusz Lasort. Now we got a foul down low. If so, that's going to be 3 on Alec Peters. Lasort did a terrific job putting Peters on his back, and that's what you see. Peters is saying it should be a 3-second violation, but instead it's Alec Peters who has been called for the foul. That's his third, so he has to take a seat on the bench. Does Alec Peters. Checked into the game in the second quarter, and he's picked up 3 fouls in 8 minutes of play. So Chris Singleton back into the game. Not necessarily a welcome sight for FC Bayern Munich, because he has drained both of his three-pointers. Anadolu Efes Istanbul, 8 of 13 from downtown so far. So Lasort good on the first. 64% foul shooter for his career. And that's a perfect trip to the free throw line. He reduces the arrears to a single-digit deficit. Sertak Shanley hearing it from the crowd. Tibor Pleiss checking back into the game, so too Vasilija Micic. So it's Lucic defending Micic. Those two teammates on the Serbian national team, remember, so they will know one another's tendencies very well indeed. Foul committed on the ground, but both teams in the penalty. So it will be a trip to the free throw line for Shane Larkin, who again continues to test the mobility of Maodo Low. So Shane Larkin to the free throw line. Maodo Low, having picked up his second foul, takes a seat on the bench. DeMarcus Nelson checking back in. His 8 minutes on court in the first quarter. He put 9 points on the board on perfect shooting from the field. DeMarcus Nelson, he was really aggressive. Shane Larkin with 23 first half points. On a night where he set his career high of 37 in round 25 of last season against Barcelona. Well, he doesn't find that one, so that's his run of consecutive free throws coming to an end. He had made 28 consecutive free throws prior to that. And making one of two, he restored the double-digit lead for FS. Koppinen all alone in the corner. Larkin late on the rotation. Koppinen can't find the range. The rebound wrapped up by James Anderson. Larkin working the dribble. Blows by DeMarcus Nelson. Jumps to pass. James Anderson for three. And he connects from downtown. James Anderson, a 35% three-point shooter for his career, but he's had a pretty lean time this season, has James Anderson, shooting just 2 of 15 from three-point territory coming into this game. He's perfect from the field in his 5-point total so far. The lead is 13 once again. A minute to play in the first half. As Danilo Bartel rattles in and around the rim. Can't find the range. James Anderson with his third rebound of the night. And the home fans here at the Sinan Erdem Dome are threatening to lift the roof off. Such is the atmosphere that they're generating. Absolutely ecstatic with what their team are producing at both ends of the floor. Larkin splitting the double team effectively, and that will send him back to the free throw line. Mateusz Lasort called for his first foul. So Shane Larkin looking to start a new streak, having gone 1 of 2 from the floor, from the free throw line on his previous trip. And now the service is resumed. Shane Larkin, 24 points in a half. So Shane Larkin puts his team up by 15. They're on a run of 6 points without reply. It's their largest lead of the game, and look at the ovation, listen to the ovation that Shane Larkin is receiving as he takes a seat on the bench after another terrific shift to put his team in a commanding position in the second half. Lucic gets creative. He can't find the range after cutting across the lane and going for the finger roll. Micic fakes the pull-up three. Singleton does the same. Drives on Danilo Bartel. Offensive foul is the call. Chris Singleton out of control as he went to his left on the dribble. Danilo Bartel blocked him initially and then perhaps fighting to get the ball back. Chris Singleton called for his second. So there's a 6-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock here. Nelson keeping the ball in his hands. Stolen away. That's 100 EuroLeague steals for Chris Singleton. He drives the lane, fouled in the act of shooting. And Chris Singleton bringing up that landmark of a century. It's a terrific pick in the open court. He couldn't find the finish in transition. So DeMarcus Nelson called for the foul. They'll send Chris Singleton to the free throw line. It's not a century of steals for Chris Singleton, incidentally. Jumped the gun in that regard, but he now goes to the stripe looking for 2 free throws as he looks to add to his 6-point total and increase FS's lead further.
Chris Singleton.
So 58 points and a half. Anadolu Efes Istanbul up by 18. DeMarcus Nelson, who's perfect from the field so far, holding for the final shot. Front rim on the shot, wrapped up by James Anderson. What an explosive half of offense Anadolu Efes Istanbul have produced in the first 20 minutes of play here at the Sinan Erdem Dome. They lead by 17, 57.
Shane Larkin, Chris Singleton, Chico Portis, James Anderson ve Vasilya Micic beşiyle sahadayız. İkinci yarıya başlıyoruz. İkinci yarı başlamadan önce çok güçlü alkışlar. Bir kez daha hep birlikte.
So the players out on court to begin this second half. Anadolu Efes Istanbul with their largest lead of the game, 17 points the advantage. So it's Modo Low who gets the second half underway, bringing the ball over the halfway line. Greg Monroe in the high post, now puts it down low to Paul Zipser. Working on Vasilya Micic. Doesn't get the shot to fall, but Vasilya Micic committing a foul in the act of shooting that will send Zipser to the free throw line. So Paul Zipser leads to 7 points in the game. For the first time in this game, it's Bayern Munich who get a point on the board first. To begin the first quarter, it was FS who raced out to a 5-0 lead. And they did an identical 5-0 run to begin quarter number 2. It's Bayern Munich who sink both of their free throws. Reduce the gap to 15. Larkin inside to Pleiss, turns, pivots, and gets the left-handed hook to fall after pretty footwork. 17-point lead restored. Tibor Pleiss moving to 10 points in the game on perfect shooting from the field, 5 of 5 so far from 2-point territory. Tibor Pleiss perfect from the field, or 2-point territory at least, in his 14-point total. Last time out, remember. So continuing again in the absence of Bryant Dunstan to be really effective for his squad. Paul Zipser off the mark with the attempted 3-pointer. Chris Singleton with the defensive rebound, his third of the night. Larkin. Oh, he caught Vasilya Micic flat-footed. Vasilya Micic waiting on the logo. The ball went beyond the outstretched reach of his right hand. So Lucic, defended by Anderson. Monroe working on Tibor Pleiss. Terrific low post play by Greg Monroe, his first points of the game. So So Micic, pursued by Lucic, kick to the corner. Anderson drives, extra pass to Chris Singleton, looking for his third three of the night. Can't find the range. Fighting on the offensive board, Tibor Pleiss and James Anderson. Is wrapped up by Bayern Munich by Greg Monroe. Lucic kicks to Zipser. Lucic spotting up on this strong side corner. Monroe comes to set a screen. Lucic Zipser driving baseline, offloads to Danilo Bartel for the jam. Terrific half-court offense by FC Bayern Munich. So Micic for three, back iron on the shot. Nobody on the inside, rebounding on the offensive glass for FS. Greg Monroe is wide open. Chris Singleton gets back to his feet, up strong, and the finish. Greg Monroe has come out aggressively in this second half after being held scoreless in the first. He's put 4 points on the board already. Timeout on the floor. FS being outscored heavily. 8 points to 2 to begin the second half. Adgin Ataman has called timeout. Oh, that's the type of thing that can take place down in the low post. Chris Singleton catching an elbow. Thankfully, he appears to be okay. Paul Zipser, 8 points in the game so far. Also just dished a nice assist at the start of this second half. He's filling it up from around the court is Paul Zipser, making another strong contribution. Here's 12 minutes on court. So Micic gives it to Larkin. It's back to Singleton. Micic driving baseline on Danilo Bartel. Danilo Bartel blocking the attempted baseline drive Micic was using. Foul against Danilo Bartel is his second. So Micic looking for a receiver. Manages to find James Anderson out by the half-court logo. Micic into the lane, rejected from behind by Vladimir Lucic. Terrific double team by FC Bayern Munich. Now it's a 2-on-2. Bartel bumping his way beneath the bucket, knocking Vasilija Micic to the ground and getting the finish on the inside. Vladimir Lucic with the assist. Danilo Bartel moves to 9 points in the game, and now the deficit is a single-digit one. So 10-2. Anadolu Efes Istanbul are being outscored in this second half so far. Terrific rejection, but the whistle had already gone against Maudo Low, who's called for his third foul. Shane Larkin to the free throw line. First points of the second half for Shane Larkin. So Shane Larkin goes 2 of 2 from the free throw line. It's a double-digit advantage once again. What was a 17-point lead at the half has been reduced to as few as 9. Now it's currently back up at 11 for the home team. Zipser into the low post. Monroe going to work on Tibor Pleiss. Danilo Bartel for 3 off left. DeMarcus Nelson can't run it down. So Larkin working against Nelson. Now it's Krunoslav Simone handling the ball. Double teamed in the corner. Bayern Munich employing a switching trapping deep. James Anderson short on the three-point attempt. Paul Zipser wrapping up the defensive board. So the different look being produced defensively by Bayern, reaping dividends, but then they give the ball back with an off-the-ball foul called against Greg Monroe. That's his third, as he was tussling with Tibor Pleiss and Chris Singleton as the bigs came down court. So Larkin beating Greg Monroe to the bucket for his first field goal of the second quarter. He moves to 29 points in the game. His team lead by 13. He remains perfect from two-point territory. What an offload from Greg Monroe out of the low post. And that gives you an idea as to why he's the second leading assist player on FC Bayern Munich. Terrific vision, splitting the double team magnificently. Danilo Bartel moving to double figures in the points tally with 11 now. Larkin from the corner for three, and he continues to light it up from all over the court. This his first corner three-pointer, 7 of 8 from downtown, 32 points in the game. And Anadolu Efes Istanbul finding their rhythm after a slow start to the second half. So Lucic loses James Anderson in a low post, turns back to the middle and moves to 11 points in the game, 4 of 5 from the field. His team trailing by 12. Anderson, relieved by Krunoslav Simone. Oh my goodness. Well, Krunoslav Simone immediately acknowledging that he's caught everybody out there. Turnover committed by Krunoslav Simone is his first, the team 8th. They've committed twice as many turnovers as Anadolu Efes Istanbul, excuse me, as Bayern Munich of Efes. Greg Monroe working on Tibor Pleiss, another good offload. Kick to the corner for Nelson, back iron on the shot, rebound by Krunoslav Simone, handed straight back. Greg Monroe offloads on the inside to Vladimir Lucic, who finishes off the feed from Greg Monroe, his 5th assist of the night. And it's a 10-point game now. 16-9. What a finish from Shane Larkin. It was 16-9. Bayern Munich were outscoring FS. But that two-point bucket and then the steal from Shane Larkin, who is putting the team on his back. Well, we've got a review on the play because you saw some of the FS players rather helpfully suggesting to the officials that this should be an unsportsmanlike call. So we're going to have an official review over at the table to see what type of foul this is. There's the reach from Vladimir Lucic, attempting to slow down Shane Larkin. Is this a legitimate play on the basketball? That is the question that the officials will be posing. The images you're seeing in that review output are exactly the same as what the officials are scrutinizing over at the table on the sideline. And immediately you see the hands go up from the FS players because they feel that this should be an unsportsmanlike foul, which will be 2 shots and the following possession for a potential 5-point trip down the floor. FS currently lead by 12. They're being outscored by 5 so far in this second half. At one point, they put just 1 field goal on the board. Bayern Munich posted 10 points from both free throws and field goals. So Bayern have come out with plenty of fight, and there's confirmation. It is an unsportsmanlike foul call assessed against Vladimir Lucic. So it will be 2 shots and possession for Anadolu Efes Istanbul. Shane Larkin going to the free throw line. He's currently 7 of 8 from the stripe tonight. 34 points in the game so far, as he edges closer to his career high, setting round 25 of last season. He's good on the first. Put his team up by 13. So Shane Larkin. If you're Efes, is the offense simply a case of give the ball to Larkin and get out of the way? 36 points with 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. A field goal, well, the next score we'll see a field goal of any description from Larkin. We'll see a new career high, but that's an easy pass from Singleton, put into the path of DeMarcus Nelson. Jumping to pass, the ball makes its way back to Alex King. He gives it to Petteri Koppinen. Zipser from the wing, front rim on the shot. Chris Singleton with the rebound. 4 rebounds, all coming on the defensive glass for Chris Singleton. He has done a solid job of ensuring that Bayern Munich can't feast on the boards. What is the call here? Yeah, we've got a foul. Tibor Pleiss and Greg Monroe taking a seat on the bench. Sertak Shanley checking back in. Krunoslav Simone receives the inbound. Again, you see Bayern Munich doubling the ball handler whenever they can. Alex King going for a steal on that occasion, but literally... Oh, sorry, it was Paul Zipser who double-teamed with Alex King. Paul Zipser called for the foul. You can see Bayern Munich in the penalty already. Such has been the intensity of their aggressive defense. So Shane Larkin hearing it from the crowd here at the Sinano Dam Dome as he takes a seat on the bench. 36 points in the game. He has missed just once from three-point territory in 8 attempts so far tonight. 9 of 10 from the free throw line. He is 1 point shy of equaling his career high of 37, set in March of this year in round 25 of last season against Barcelona here in Istanbul. So Chris Singleton makes both free throws to move to 10 points in the game. One of 3 double-digit point scorers for the home team. They lead by 16. Dosh Balbai defending the basketball handler and coming up with the steal. Terrific D by Dosh Balbai, whose dynamic defense has reaped dividends for his squad once again. He gives it to Krunoslav Simone. Simone spinning baseline on Petteri Koppinen. Koppinen standing strong, trying to keep his man out of the lane. Jumping to pass back to three-point territory. The three-points are fired. It's a line drive which is long, but what a flying tip from Krunoslav Simone. His first points of the game puts his team up by 18. Terrific flying tip from Krunoslav Simone. And that is a run of 8 points without reply by Anadolu Efes Istanbul to blow this third quarter wide open. Timeout on the floor. 18 points the advantage for Efes. Well, Shane Larkin began the game brightly, and his star has been undimmed all game long. 36 points in the game, 7 of 8 from downtown. FC Bayern Munich have made just 3 three-pointers of their 11 attempts. Shane Larkin, an absolutely incredible display. Mention the fact that he averages 2.56 made three-pointers per night in the EuroLeague so far this campaign. but he has sunk 7 of them out of his 8 attempts so far in this game. Just over 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. Petteri Koponen into the lane, surrounded by Efes defenders, but still dead-eye shooting sees him drain the bucket. Petteri Koponen with his first field goal of the game, his first points of the game, after going 0 of 2 from downtown previously. Dosh Balbai gives it to Krunoslav Simone with the flat pass. Krunoslav Simone splits the gap, loses his footing. Ball makes its way to Tolga Gessin. He's backing down Nelson. Dosh Balbai for 3, front rim on the shot. So Bayern Munich standing strong with a good defensive effort. So it's very much a reserve unit in for Anadolu Efes Istanbul now. They're resting their starters, the guys who logged the most minutes. You see Bayern Munich will look to take advantage of this reserve crew being out on the court and eke away at this 18-point deficit that they currently face. It's their largest deficit of the game so far. Rejected by Krunoslav Simone. Terrific defense blocking the shot attempt of Petteri Koponen, and it went straight into the hands of Chris Singleton. Dosh Balbai controlling the tempo. Tolga Gessin rotates the basketball with the dribble. Now back to Balbai. Balbai with the quickness into the lane, jumps to pass, extra pass from Krunoslav Simone. Tolga Gessin can't find the range, but Sertak Shanley crashes the offensive boards to remain perfect from the field in his 11-point total. 4 men into double figures on the points tally now for Anadolu Efes Istanbul, and the lead is 20. What a terrific job the reserve crew are doing for the home team. Bayern not able to make any inroads into this deficit that they are facing. Indeed, it is growing. Extra pass, Alex King doesn't beat the shot clock buzzer, so they are doing it at both ends of the floor. And if you're Coach Ergin Ataman, this is terrific to see, because it means you can give your star players, the players who log the most minutes, a valuable rest, and those who are coming in off the bench, proving that they are very much a crucial part of this Anadolu Efes Istanbul team, because they are demonstrating that they are trustworthy. In this cauldron of an atmosphere, they're continuing to execute the sets that Ergin Ataman has drawn up, and the intensity is being maintained. That's an offensive foul by Krunoslav Simone as he went clattering into Alex King. Alex King positioning himself perfectly above the halo to draw that offensive foul. Krunoslav Simone called for his 3rd foul. So it's a run of 10 points without reply that FS have put on the board. Some terrific defensive plays, including this block shot from Krunoslav Simone. Sees them locking up FC Bayern Munich, who started the game outscoring FS heavily, but are currently trailing by 1, 19-18 in the score in this third quarter. Maodo Low holding for the final shot of the period. Alex King firing for 3 once again, long on the shot. Rebound James Anderson, he checks the clock and elects not to launch a half-court prayer to end quarter number 3. A terrific fight back in terms of the quarter produced by Anadolu Efes Istanbul after being outscored heavily in the opening stages. They end it with a run of 10 unanswered points and are currently leading FC Bayern Munich by 18. 76-58 the score. So what a third quarter then. It was all Bayern Munich in the opening stages. Greg Monroe got his first points on the board in the second half. Paul Zitzer with the drive. With a dish for Danilo Bartel for the dunk, but then Shane Larkin began to assert his control once again, slicing to the bucket. Danilo Bartel with a double-digit score of 11 for FC Bayern Munich. Petteri Koponen got his first field goal to fall. 2 points in the game so far for him. And how about this for an offensive rebound by Sertak Shanley, one of the key contributors. Again, the numbers remain gaudy from both 2- and 3-point territory for Anadolu Efes Istanbul. Dominant on the boards, more than doubling up FC Bayern Munich. The number of turnovers won't please Anadolu Efes Istanbul, but when you consider the numbers at the top of that statistics chart, 76-58 for an 18-point lead with 10 minutes to play. Well, I'm sure that Argin Ataman will take those numbers overall. So Anadolu Efes Istanbul get the fourth quarter underway. They're in a commanding position on the scoreboard. The next field goal for Shane Larkin will see him set a new career high. He's currently on 36 points in 23 minutes of play. He has the basketball now. Defended by Lowe, who's sending him left. Sertak Shanley for another long-range two. Back iron on the shot, rebound, Petteri Koponen. So Anderson picking up Koponen. Lucic with a catch on the inside. Terrific finish by Vladimir Lucic. The high post feed, resulting in a perfectly placed pass from Leon Radošević. Shanley called for the foul. That's his first. It will send Vladimir Lucic to the free throw line. So Vladimir Lucic completes the three-point play. First points on the board in the fourth quarter go in favor of the visiting team, and then Vladimir Lucic almost bagging a steal, but he couldn't control his momentum. As he attempted to maintain possession, he instead gave it back to James Anderson. So Beaubois receives the ball from Larkin. Bayern continuing to run and trap Shane Larkin from the short corner. Front rim on the shot, looking to cram it home were a pair of FS players, Sertak Shanley and James Anderson, unable to find the finish. Lowe using the screen from Alex King. Lowe into the lane, trying to find Leon Radošević. Lead pass for Alec Peters. Impeded in transition by Petteri Koponen. Whistle on the play. Foul will be called against Koponen. So Koponen called for his first foul. Alec Peters going to the free throw line for the first time tonight. This will be his first shots of any description. 9 minutes on court for Alec Peters. Rattles home his first 14 consecutive free throws made now for Alec Peters. Make that 15 without a miss for his first points of the game. Points the advantage. Both teams shooting incredibly well from the free throw line. Alex King with the bounce pass to Radošević on the inside. He now has it, kicks it back out to the perimeter. Vladimir Lucic with the baseline drive, poked away, hustling after it is Alec Peters, but that's a terrific defensive effort by Anadolu Efes Istanbul, forcing another 24-second shot clock violation. FC Bayern Munich really finding it difficult to get themselves a good look at the bucket, and that is because players are rotating and swarming and hassling and harrying, making it a very uncomfortable evening indeed for the visitors here at the Senano Demdome tonight. Upstairs it goes, Rodrigue Beaubois bounding high and showing off those hops off the feed from Shane Larkin, who tossed up that alley-oop pass from way beyond the three-point line. Terrific find. High post shot is long from Leon Radošević, tipped out by Rodrigue Beaubois, but only into the hands of Modo Lowe. Petteri Koponen connects from downtown. His first three-pointer of the game takes him to 5 points in the game. So the 19-point lead, the largest of the game, is short-lived. 16 points the deficit now. Off the mark with the three-pointer, Vladimir Lucic with the defensive board. Alex King. While he's continuing to lay bricks from the perimeter is Alex King. Now 0 of 3 from downtown. 29% three-point shooter for his career, but he hasn't been able to find the range so far tonight. Scoreless in the game so far in his 12 minutes on court. So Alec Peters called for his fourth foul. Alex King taking a seat on the bench. Goes Flacadori into the game. So it's Modo Low looking to inbound. He finds Flacadori, gets to the high post. Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, Leon Radošević has had difficulty reeling in a couple of passes tonight. Previous one resulting in a 24-second violation. And that one was faked out by his own teammate. Larkin with a new career high on that long range two. Shane Larkin, 4 of 5 from two-point territory, moves to 38 points in the game, surpassing his previous career mark of 37. Rubbed out by James Anderson, taking away the reverse dunk attempt of Vladimir Lucic. Inside to Sertak Shanley, who rumbles in the low post to move to 13 points in the game, and the lead is 20 for Anadolu Efes Istanbul. What a defensive play by James Anderson, and then he fed the cutter down the lane. 20 points the advantage, equaling Efes's largest lead of the night so far. So the 7 days magic moment is the connection between Shane Larkin and Rodrigue Beaubois. The backcourt partners hooking up high above the rim. Shane Larkin in the midst of a career night in terms of points, showing that he can turn provider on a night when he's filling up the box score in the points column as well. A perfectly placed pass for Rodrigue Beaubois to bound up high and get that bucket. 2 of his 4 points in the game with the 7 days magic moment. So 20 points the advantage for Anadolu Efes Istanbul. Taken away by Rodrigue Beaubois, picking the pocket of Paul Zipser. Shane Larkin electing to slow things down. Picked up by Flacadori at the half. Vladimir Lucic will be called for the foul. Larkin handling the dribble. Well, it's another turnover committed by FC Bayern Munich. The 12th of the game, one more than Anadolu Efes Istanbul. And what will upset Coach Dejan Radonic is that some of these have been unnecessary, but when you're under the cosh like this, down by 20 in a hostile away venue, just be a little bit too keen to get out on the break and try and fashion an easy bucket. And that is what's resulted in a couple of these giveaways. Bounce pass inside is difficult for Sertak Shanley to handle, but he did exactly that, reeling in the feed from Rodrigue Beaubois to move to 15 points in the game, equaling his career high that he set against Asvel in round 9. That's only 2 rounds ago, and it gives you an idea as Rodrigue Beaubois bags another steal, his second of the game. Efes in transition. Shane Larkin for three. Back iron on the shot. James Anderson with the offensive board. Bullet pass to Alec Peters. Clobbered on the inside, no foul. Flacadori into the lane. Lucic down to the corner. Zipser for three. Back iron on the shot. Rodrigue Boubois with the board. So Sertak Shanley with a new career high of 17 points in the game on an incredibly efficient 7 of 8 shooting, surpassing his previous career best that he set in round 9 against Asvel earlier this month. Lucic driving, goes to the window and finds an incredibly difficult finish. And that snaps a run of 8 unanswered points that Efes had put on the board to blow this one wide open and lead by 24. Well, offensive foul is the call against Shane Larkin. Lowering his shoulder like a running back to brace himself for the impact against Danilo Bartel. Still, he doesn't necessarily agree with the call. Shane Larkin called for his first foul. Now he's being taken out of the game. He's got a new career high, but he's on the cusp of equaling the 41-point all-time high in the EuroLeague that is shared by a group of players, including Bobby Brown and the late Alfonso Ford. So he takes a seat on the bench. 38 points on 7 of 9 shooting from three-point territory, 9 of 10 from the stripe, 4 of 6 from two-point land, as Greg Monroe moves to 6 points in the game to reduce the arrears to 20. But what do you do if you're the coach? Do you leave your man in when he's logged a 28-minute shift already so he can rack up more records, or do you remain content with a career high for Shane Larkin? And most importantly, what has been the foundation for a match-winning performance against FC Bayern Munich. Greg Monroe with a rebound, that's his third of the night, off the missed long ball from James Anderson. Flacadori into the lane, kicks to Greg Monroe, working from the high post, wheels his way down to the halo, back to Zipser, fakes the three, down to the dots, almost another 24-second violation, but Efes coming up with another defensive stop. So Rodrigue Boubois cutting hard off the baseline. Now what's happened there? Is that an illegal screen by Sertak Shanley? I think Vladimir Lucic ran into his shoulder there. Sertak Shanley called for his second foul. Let's take a look. Oh my goodness. Causing Vladimir Lucic to wilt at the waist. So Larkin back into the game. A 3-point field goal shy of equaling the all-time points record in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. Traveling violation committed by Greg Monroe. Greg Monroe has posted double figures in terms of performance index rating in 9 of his 10 EuroLeague games so far. A more challenging night at the office for him here in this round 11 fixture against Efes. 5 points in the game during his 19 minutes on court, and he's been hit with fouls as well. As Larkin pulls up for three. Shane Larkin joins the club of the all-time top scorers in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. 41 points in the game on 8 of 10 shooting from three-point territory. An absolutely incredible shooting display from Shane Larkin, who started hot and has maintained the hot hand all night. So timeout on the floor. And Anadolu Efes Istanbul now looking to put 100 points on the board at this expense of FC Bayern Munich. More the thunderclap in evidence. So another score of any description will put Shane Larkin in a class by himself. The fans absolutely ecstatic here. So it's an end-line possession for FC Bayern Munich. 2.5 minutes remaining in the game. Petteri Koppinen with an air ball. Tough night for him so far in this game. 5 points in the game on 1 of 3 shooting from both 2- and 3-point territory. Shane Larkin, nice to the hole for his 43rd points of this game. He is the new all-time top scorer in a single game in the history of the EuroLeague. A perfect fitting to what has been a fantastic performance by Shane Larkin. And you hear cries of MVP, MVP reverberating all around the Sinan Erden Dome as Rodrigue Boubois slices to the hole and finishes with a finger roll at the glass. 25 points, the advantage is the largest lead of the game. But this game, this night belongs to Shane Larkin. Tibor Pleiss rejecting Diego Flacadori. Flacadori all alone in the corner, looking for a 3, front rim on the shot. Terrific offensive board by Vladimir Lucic. So foul committed on the ground. Kembala, Myers, Bobby Brown and the late Alfonso Ford had all scored 41 points in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague, but that drive and finish with the left hand by Shane Larkin sees him move to the top of the individual scoring table. 43 points in the game, and he thanks the basketball gods who have been smiling favorably on him tonight. So Vladimir Lucic moves to 19 points in the game. Make that 20 on that perfect trip to the free throw line. Top scorer for FC Bayern Munich, one of 2 double-digit scorers. Just over a minute to play here in the game. Is Shane Larkin going to fill it up some more? He catches and fires from 3 and lands another long-range bomb from downtown. Shane Larkin, absolutely lethal from long range all game long. 9 3-pointers in the game. A new record in terms of made 3-pointers for this season. And Shane Larkin continuing to put daylight between himself and the rest of the scorers in the history of this league. 46 points in the game. A new record in the modern era, as Alec Peters brings up the century with his first 3-pointer of the night. 101 points on the board. Well, it's been a shootout because the threes are flowing in the closing stages of the game, but they have flowed more freely in favor of the home team. 13 out of 27 as Larkin. Oh, this is absolutely extraordinary from Shane Larkin, who will not want this game to end. 49 points in the night, 10 made 3-pointers on 12 attempts. An absolutely incredible, improbable display of shooting from Shane Larkin. And what a way to wrap up this game. 104 points on the board. An absolute demolition job produced by the home team here at the Sinan Erden Dome. And the chief tormentor of FC Bayern Munich is the smiling assassin Shane Larkin, who immediately is granted the game ball. And that is something he is no doubt going to rub every night before he goes to bed. because he will be looking to keep the powers that he's demonstrated during the course of this performance alive and kicking for the rest of his basketball career. 10 of 12 from three-point territory, 9 of 10 from the free throw line, 5 of 7 from two-point land. Shane Larkin with a 49-point performance, a new individual scoring mark in the history of the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague, and underpinning a dominant display for Anadolu Efes Istanbul, who have steamrolled FC Bayern Munich 104-75, the final score.
Gerçekten olağanüstü bir gece. Takım arkadaşlarım bana son derece yardımcı oluyor. Onların desteğine bırakalım kırdık. Sizlerin de desteğine teşekkür ediyorum. Son bir kez daha Sinan Erdem. Shane.
Well, images being captured for posterity by the photographers and videographers here at the Sinan Erdem Dome. Shane Larkin producing a performance for the ages. A 49-point effort in a game where his team have won by a massive 29-point margin. He's taken the time to interact and engage with the fans. And what a night for those who have turned up to the Sinan Erdem Dome. An occasion on which they will all be able to say, I was there when Shane Larkin set the new all-time scoring record in a single game in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. 49 points in the game on incredibly efficient shooting from the field and the free throw line. This wasn't a case of inefficient volume shooting and continuing to gun away to get the record. Shane Larkin with an incredible display, the foundation upon which a blowout victory for Anadolu Efes Istanbul has been built. Final score from the Sinan Erdem Dome, Anadolu Efes Istanbul